Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick right here, coming back at you once again. Look, I'm not going to be before you long. I just want to have a real quick conversation with you. As you know by now, my goal is centered and focused on entering into 2022 on a strong note. My focus is making sure that as many people as possible don't go into 2022 flat footed. So often we go into new transition periods and thinking that the next phase will offer the opportunities that the current phase didn't offer. Well, we don't realize we're creating opportunities with the way we think. We're creating opportunities with the way we move. We're creating opportunities as we reposition ourselves each and every day in our thinking, in our thoughts, in our positions, in our actions. And when you move into another one, say, well, I'm just going to wait till I get there and I'm going to start over. You're starting flat footed and you're starting with the same mindset that got you what got you in the past. It was Albert Einstein that said, you will never solve your current problems using the same thinking that got you there. So if you're going to move into something different, if you're going to do something different, you've got to change your thinking. You've got to change your approach. You've got to change your habits. You are the result of your habits in thinking, your habits in action, your habits in how you confront every issue in life. So I have three simple questions I want to ask you. I want you to contemplate them for a while, and then I'm going to share something with you, and then I'll be done. The first question is, what are you trying to achieve? What is it that you are trying to achieve? The second question, what is it that you're trying to avoid? The final question, what's your next step? Now, if you don't have a clear, and I mean clear cut, highly visual imagery uh, answer to all three of those questions, there's an issue because you need all three operating in unison and in harmony, in alignment with one another. You need to know what it is you're trying to achieve. You should be able to tell somebody what it is you're trying to achieve in three sentences or less. And when you get real sharp, you should be able to define it in one sentence and people know exactly what you're talking about. That's how specified and specific your focus has to be to get somewhere. The less focused and the more ambiguous you are, the more you end up in places you didn't want to be because you didn't know you were moving in the wrong direction until it was too late. You get there and you realize this doesn't feel right. This isn't what I was looking for. You need to know what you're looking for with such specificity that you know the direction, you know where it's at. I know I need to head that route direction. I know I can't go that way and get it. I know I can't go that. It's right over there, and that's where I need to go get it. I need to be facing the direction I'm headed in. But that calls for clarity in vision. What are you trying to accomplish? Okay, as much as you need to know and focus on what you're trying to achieve, you also need to know what you're trying to avoid. You don't want to give it a whole lot of attention, but you need to know you're not supposed to be heading toward it. You need to know you're not supposed to be entertaining it. You need to know those things. Second of all, what's your next step? If you don't know your next step, then you're stuck. You can't move. You can't build momentum being static. You need momentum to build the force that will carry you through some of the more difficult times. A lot of people get bogged down because they never develop momentum. But why? Because they're not moving. They're not taking action. They're thinking about it. They have an idea. Some people even have great clarity, but they have no practical application that puts them in the movement and in the motion of things so that they can get what it is they want. It's real simple. I want as many people as possible to go into 2022 with a whole lot of momentum in energy, in focus, in intent. I can't tell you how important intent is in getting something done. What are your intentions? How are you moving? Are you real deliberate in your intentions? So that's what deliberate means. It means an intentional focus on something so that every action is aimed at accomplishing something. That's the specificity of movement that creates success. You don't get it by going. That's why people, even when people do something and it turns out great, they can't ever replicate it because it wasn't done intentionally. They happened upon it. It was an accident. It was an epiphany. It was something that came about. But when you know where you're going and every step has a purpose, every movement has a purpose, there is something intentional in everything you do, then you can understand what you should expect. You can understand how you're approaching it. What I want you to do is if you can't answer all three of those questions with the highest level of specificity, and you can clearly see how you're moving into 2022 so smoothly and powerfully that you can see January, February, March, April, May, June, how those months are going to look for you, you need to come over and let's make it happen. I want to help you do it, and I want to help you do it in a way that's not going to be 6 months down the line. I want to help you do it in a way that you know you're going to leave this month, because this is it. This is December. I've been talking about this since August and September. And see, back then it wasn't a lot of urgency because people don't see how quickly these months come up and how things transition. Now we're in December. We are weeks away from transitioning into an entirely different year with new opportunities, new things, but are you going to be prepared to seize them? Because see, opportunities don't fall in your lap. They are seized. They are identified and seized. And when you're really truly focused, they are created. What I want to do is I want to help you get there. If you're serious about it and you want to make it happen, click the link and sign up for a rapid change breakthrough session. I'm going to sit down with you. I'm going to give you a DISC assessment. I'm going to tell you what your personality makeup is, how you normally function, what your strengths are. Because the one thing a lot of people make the mistake in doing is they learn they have weaknesses, and they spend all their time trying to strengthen their weaknesses, and they don't realize the gift is in their strengths. You were meant to be better at some things than you are at other. It doesn't mean that you don't want to become better in the areas of weakness. It means your strengths are what's going to open doors for you. And especially when you're trying to accomplish something now, you don't have time to strengthen your weaknesses. You got to ride your strengths. You got to know what I can do now. What am I good at? How am I going to best accomplish this? Some people are organizational. Some people are compliant. Some people are independent thinkers. Some people are critical and creative thinkers. Some people move outside of the box almost all the time. You need to know how you're going to do it. Are you going to do it by following a real specified step-by-step process, or does that bog you down and bore you? Do you need to be in something where every moment you're thinking and you got to be fast on your feet because it livens you up and it gives you a sense of, you need to know that about yourself. I'm going to do that DISC assessment. I'm going to let you know where you're at, where you're going to be strong at. But I'm also going to sit up and help you get a real clear image, a real clear vision. I'm going to help you put it in writing. I'm going to help you put it in images. I'm going to help you put it in front of you. I'm going to show you how important it is to write it down, why you need to write it down, what you're going to do once you write it down. And then we're going to look at it at a distance, and we're going to take the first step. That's what it's about. I want to help you. I do this all the time, and I do it for much more than I'm doing it now. But I want to help you. Don't go into 2022 living the same way, thinking the same way, believing the same way that you did in 2021. Life is about growth. Everything you achieve in life is about growth. You either grow into it or you don't. You either become it or you don't. You don't automatically. Age isn't an automatic qualifier. You get what I'm saying? Age is not an automatic qualifier. You know, when you're young, age kind of seems like, when I get this age, I'm going to be this. You know, when I get this age, I'm good. When I get this age, I'm probably going to go through puberty. When I get to this age, my voice is going to get deeper if I'm a man, and I'm going to start to develop if I'm a woman. When I get to this age, I'll be legally old enough to do this. When I get to this age, I'll be legally old enough to drink. But then that's when age stops qualifying you. Those are all the things age qualifies you for. None of them actually mean anything in the true sense of doing something. What qualifies you is your intent. Your intent to focus and move and do the things that you know you need to do to become the person you need to become in order to have the things you need to have. You don't get what you want in life. You get who you are. You get what you've become. It's that simple. You can wish for it all day long, and you'll be a great dreamer. And that's it. That's all. You got to turn the dream into a goal. You got to look at it and say, how am I going to achieve it? How am I going to become it? What do I need to change? What do I need to do? Who do I still need around me? Who do I need to distance myself from? Because I understand my environment is very influential on my outcomes. I need to really work on being something better. This is not about sitting around and just hoping you land somewhere. This is about becoming very specific in what you target in life. So you come, if you don't hit it, you come real close so that the next time you got an easier shot. That's what life is about. And this is the thing I want to do. I want to get you there. Nothing in life comes easy. It doesn't come without effort. It responds to it. You heard me say this before, then I'm done. Life will pay whatever price you demand of it. But here's the catch. When you make a demand on life, life will turn around and make an equal demand on you. Life will say, okay, you can have it. But these are the counter demands. I had a guy, this is a real life situation. I had a guy come to me, said, man, I've been married to my wife for, well, I think it was 8 years. I've been married to my wife for 8 years. And I'm a great provider. My wife doesn't have to work. My wife, blah, blah, blah. And I could tell he was really proud of being married. He was really proud of being a provider. But what happens is we live in a society where men are being commodified. So the only thing a man sees is his ability of how much money he makes and what he brings to the table in money. Doesn't see all the other things that matter if you're going to have a real, true, healthy relationship. So I told him, I said, what's going on? He says, we're really at odds right now. My wife is not happy and everything like this. So we started talking, come to find out that he has this idea because he's a provider, because he gives his wife and his children this unbelievable home and this life, that he has the freedom to do whatever he wants to. So he's spending all this time with his boys. You may have heard this story. He's spending all the time with his boys. 2 or 3 times a week, he's out with the boys, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, sometimes later. Comes home tired, doesn't want to help the wife with the kids, doesn't want to do it because he feels I'm paying all the bills. I shouldn't have to do any of this. I should be able to go ahead. And I tell him, I said, that's not how it works. This is a life. Your wife isn't a responsibility. She's a part of your life. She's there. And while she may not bring any money to the table, her job is just as important as yours. She's rearing your seed. She's implanting in your seed principles and things that you guys share together while you're at work. She's planting those seeds. So let me explain something. She's just as important, if not more important, than the work you do. She's doing something that's so valuable that needs to be appreciated. You can't spend all that time with your boys. Your time needs to be with your wife. So here's what happens. He goes, he does what I tell him to do, but he comes back a month or so later and he's still not happy. And I said, what happened? Man, I did all that crap you told me to do. And she's still not happy. I said, well, I could tell by the way you brought it to me, you still didn't get it. She just doesn't need you to be there. She needs you to want to be there. She doesn't want you to come home and make her feel like you resent her because you can't hang out with your boys. And there are certain things she can't plant in your seeds that you need to be there to plant, to sit up and bring the balance of masculinity and femininity in the home. Masculine energy, feminine energy coming together to create synergy that creates a force that's so powerful. It creates unbelievable offspring that do exceptional, extraordinary things. That's got to be a balance. He says, okay, so I'm telling you, tell your boys, man, we can hang out and go straight ham once a month. But the rest of my time is building this life in this world for my family. And you got to mean it. You got to make her know you want to be there, that you see the value in being with her. He finally got it. He went home and changed it. They're going great now. But the idea is, first and foremost, you not only have to know it, you have to believe it, and you have to understand your place in it, and you've got to move in it. Do you get what I'm saying? There are some things you've got to be able to, you can't just sit up and wish for it. You just can't sit up and say it's going, you got to be so intentional. You got to be so focused. You got to be so fixed on it. And you got to know what it means to you. Have to go all out. You have to go all out. So if you're having a blockage of any kind, if you don't have, a clear understanding of what you are trying to achieve, what you're trying to avoid. And it's important. Normally, if you're focusing on what you need to achieve, the things you need to avoid are the things that will stop you from achieving it, or the things that will bring you displeasure or pain. And you need to know they're there and what you need to avoid. You don't just want to stumble on something and say, oh, that hurt. Oh, man, I probably shouldn't have did that. You should know this is not going to be good for me. That's not something I want to spend my time and energy and effort on. That's counterproductive. So what are you trying to avoid? The next thing you need to know is what's the next step. If you don't know those things, don't sit around thinking they're just going to pop in your head out of osmosis. Let's get together. Let's make it happen. The link is in the box. I would love to work as with many of you as I can. Obviously, there's only so many I can work with, but you'll know if you reach out and you can't get me. But right now, I want to work with you. For those of you who may be looking for something a little more long term, email me. The email address is in the box. If you want to work with me for more than just this rapid change session, hey, email me and we can work that out. But what I want to do is get you at least started and planted and fixed and intentional about what you want to accomplish with your life. I want to see intent. Now you got to go get it. On that note, I'm out of here. As I always say, I live my life on full. One day I'm not going to be here. One day you're going to turn on your YouTube. You're going to turn on Facebook Live. You're going to click and I won't be here. But you know what? I will have died on E. I will have left this world everything I had. And I will have done it in such a way that people will be talking about it long after I'm gone. People will be underlining their underlines in the books I've written. People will revisit and notate again under the thousands of videos that I've recorded that you can revisit as often as you want to. People will start talking about the sessions that they've had with me and how they had an epiphany in one of those sessions that literally changed their life. I decided I'm not leaving this place with anything left in the tank. Now I'm challenging you to do the same thing. Write your legacy every day. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day.